Hey Elgin, how'd you like to lose weight fast? Huh? You want to get rich quick? How about looking young forever? Then this is the show for you. It's the Laura Dion-Jones Show, here every Wednesday on AM 1410 WRMN. And now the host of the show, the hostess of the show, the hostess with the mostest, Laura Dion-Jones.
How are you?
Excellent. How are you today?
Are you forgiving me for spilling that latte on your
What'd
floor?
you do?
I spilled my latte on your office floor.
Oh, was that you? I forgot all about it.
Oh, yeah, you forgot. Are you going to hold it against me? I'm so sorry I did
No,
that.
I told you you're fine.
I was nervous.
Did you ever see a quicker cleanup crew, though?
Never. Never.
Five seconds later, it's gone.
Yeah.
Forgotten about.
Thank you. Thank you for not being mad at me.
No problems.
Listen, today's show is brought to you by...
The good folks, of course, at Allen & Son Seal Coating. Summer's almost over. Make sure you take care of all those asphalt needs. Call them at 847-980-6914. You'll thank yourself in the winter. Also, the good folks at Clara Leia, she's going to walk into the studio in just moments, is she not?
Moments.
Moments. She'll be
Short
right here.
moments.
Live and in color. Dr. Clara Leis, when she's not here in the studio, she's at 2001 Larkin Avenue. You can call her at 847-888-9988. And you have been there just recently, have you not?
This Wednesday.
And your back is never better.
Fabulous.
Case
I can't
closed.
complain. That's
All right,
it.
and for you, that's quite a concept.
Yes.
So here we go. Also, the good folks at YMCA, they're in action as well. You're there at 50 North McLean, and August is just about history. Kids went back to school today. It's always a fun day, wasn't it? Going back to school.
Absolutely.
Today was the day?
Oh, yeah, for you
Giving me
46 and here in Elgin.
palpitations.
Yes, palpitations. So it's always fun. But either way, the why, you know, if you must continue to work, you can drop the youngsters off. They've got preschool and kindergarten enrichment series and all kinds of good things for the elementary school kids as well. So give the folks at Y a call for the rest of the August special. They're at 847-888-7410, 50 North McLean. We say hello to the YMCA and you as well, Laura. You have a cast of thousands as per usual.
As per usual, and I know George is going to kill me because he hates when I pack the studio, but I like a crowd, I like a mob, you know, I like to have friends around me.
You must be lively on the subway then.
I don't take public.
All right.
I mean, if you look like me, would you take public transportation?
You'll be mobbed. I've
They
seen
all,
that.
I am mobbed. They
Marilyn
all
Monroe.
latch on to me, every one of
Is
them.
that right?
Yeah, oh, you can't imagine what happens to me on public transportation.
Maybe that's a show right there, isn't it,
We should
Mike?
follow around with a YouTube camera. And
Yeah.
Oh, you would
Forget
just...
the studio.
Oh,
Game. We're ready.
okay, you
might
just
be a
say the word.
documentary.
Come on, there you go.
Yeah.
Reading between the lines.
That
Subway
might-
lines.
That may be the hosting site for your new Oprah show. You are in the subway every day hosting a show on the move.
Wouldn't that be something?
Starts January. The
I
cable
see
set
it.
near you.
January 1st.
All right.
I can see the opening credits now.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Homeless man played by a homeless man.
Let's not
All right,
there.
go ahead, my dear.
Okay, and we want to thank Snobhounds Canine Clothing Company. You think Nike meets Donna Karan, but for canines, and you know winter's coming, so those pooches need their faux fur coats by Snobhounds. And Casey Tool and Automotive Specialty Tool Company. And in the studio with us today is my cohort, who we just heard from, Mike Hunziker, my pal. My co-host Jeff Myers. George Rollinson has graced us with an appearance. And our YouTube camera girl, Darlene Hewlin's back with us this week. And our special guests today are Becky Butcher. She's a local Elgin, author of a fun new family cookbook called Feeding the Flock, Food for the Brood. And Elgin's own Dr. Kaleos.
That's her sister.
Am I nervous today or what?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You're on the
Elgin's
subway.
own Dr. Claire Oleos is stopping in, or she has stopped in, to talk a little bit about chronic fatigue syndrome and chiropractic care. And Shelley Lewis, Executive Director of Little Angels, a wonderful home for kids and young adults with severe disabilities and complex medical needs, is here, along with her sidekick person, Mary Jean Atkins. You two you're a team. You have to say sidekicks. You're a team.
See her card, it says that.
Mary Jean Atkins, does it say it on her name tag?
That's right.
Development Director of Little Angels is here as well, and they're going to tell us about what's going on over there. And I had the good fortune to have a private tour of Little Angels today, and maybe that's why I'm a little verklempt, because my head is still
They do some great work there.
unbelievable facility. It's just immaculate and unbelievable, and the kids all had smiles on their faces, and all the nurses and the attendants and everybody there, even the dog. You know, I mean, she's a greeter, and she had a smile on her face. And let's see, Little Angels is an Elgin Image Award winner. when did you guys win? And so is Jeff Myers, and so is Michael Hunziker, and Clara Leos has won more
George
awards
Robinson.
than an Olympic team. I'm the only one in here that's not an Elgin Award winner
But you've
yet.
attended the event. You've attended the event. Case
So-
closed.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Let's get on to our quote of the week. George, this one you might like. The harder you pull the leash, the more the dog wants to run away. Who said it?
You walking your 2 dogs in downtown Chicago.
Only on occasion. The harder you
Can you
pull
do
the
it?
leash, the more the dog wants to run away. You are never going to get this
Arthur
one.
Fonzarelli.
Close. Las Vegas Elvis.
Oh, really? Well, Las Vegas Elvis.
And
Thank you very much.
And this ties in with the fact that yesterday I posted a comment to an article in the Miami Herald section, Miami Herald Health section of August 24th edition, and the headline read, "As budget woes whittle their numbers, school nurses' roles expand." And seriously, the crux of the story is the school nurse's main role is to keep the kids in school. And now with cash cutbacks as they are, which you guys know about it over at Little Angels, not all schools have nurses. So if you have school-age kids, please read the article. Again, it's in the Miami Herald. It's online. Health section, August 24th edition. Headline, "As budget woes whittle their numbers, school nurses' roles expand." My post, if you have school-age kids, you have to read the article to find out who's providing health services at your child's school and make sure that, I'm sure that all of you 46 is on top of everything, because Dr. T would not have it any other way. But my post to their article said it was interesting that you would run a picture of an obese nurse. This is what struck me, because I don't have kids. But it was a picture of an obese nurse taking the blood pressure or something of a chubby little kid with this story in, while the whole country is feverishly trying to fight the obesity epidemic. And I personally think that healthcare professionals should be some of the first ones to set the example beside the parents. Which brings me to one of my very favorite quotes ever: "No man is fit to command another that cannot command himself."
Wow. Napoleon.
William Penn.
Oh.
William Penn.
A fine institution.
Yeah. And it's one of my favorite quotes because of the experience that I've had with some healthcare professionals and being kind of less than kind to me and less than felt themselves. But anyway, speaking of being commanded of oneself, tonight's the final weigh-in of Elgin's Biggest Loser 2.
Say it ain't so, Joe. It's over?
For this,
Tonight?
yeah,
Say it
tonight's the
ain't so.
12th week. It's the
Oh.
it's the final weigh-in, and these 12 weeks have really whizzed by. We have 44 active participants, they're graduating this evening, and it's the final weigh-in. And come to find out who the biggest losers are tonight between 5 and 6 at the Y, and we will be awarding prizes and certificates to all active participants.
There's some good stories on Facebook. Janelle Walker, of course, is a 2-time EBL, is she not?
No, she's just a one-time.
Just a one? Oh, she's
yeah.
covered it the first time? Well, she's got
covered
some
it the
great
first time.
Facebook. She's out of town, I think, for the next few days, but she has some nice stories, not only for the newspaper, the Courier, but also some Facebook anecdotes occasionally.
Well, you know something, I'm very proud of all my Elgin's Biggest Losers, the active participants or not, but Janelle, I'm especially proud of her because you know Janelle.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was, I thought she was going to be a tough cookie, and I didn't
Yeah,
think I was going to
she's
get to her.
not
And
to
a
you,
couple
though.
of weeks in, she sat there and she had a gleam in her eye, and
You
she
can
started
handle it.
losing weight, and she said, "You really do know what you're doing.
That's great.
You
We can
really
travel
do know
on
what
public
you're-"
transportation, so you're tough.
Yeah.
Can we get George, shout out your weight. Are you all right? George Rollinson?
244.
244.
Oh,
okay.
we're on the rise.
Commentary
eh?
from the class on that? Mike, is that good?
That's good. He's
Okay.
looking good.
Okay, yeah, you look good.
Oh, I got the dirty look from Laura. He's looking good.
What was your lowest, George?
That's where I want to
39.
239.
see. Yeah, he
So
wants
he's-
to get under 240.
Okay. George
we gotta-
Rollinson update.
We got to get
He's
back.
a busy guy. He's going to a lot of functions, you know. He probably has a lot of different food.
A lot of functions at Golden Corral.
Brought in the
Every
next
day
segment,
is
wait
a
a minute.
party at Golden Corral.
And the next segment is brought to you by Golden Corral. Thank you.
No, no.
That is very
Golden Corral.
clever.
Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate
Well
your
done.
support. But I really would like to thank the YMCA and Lisa Eby, without whom I could not do half of what I do with any of the Elgin's Biggest Loser weight loss competitions. And Elgin's Biggest Loser 3 begins September 15th, and we'd love to have you, your friends, and family join us. And remember, the year-end holidays are coming, and yeah, it's almost September, and all the EBL 1 and 2s are welcome to join us again. We miss y'all, and we need you, and email me at Dion, D-I-O-N, Jones, at AOL.com for more info to register or to be put on the EBL3 list. And check with the Y for more information. And so let's see, next up is Becky Butcher. She's a local Elgin author of a fun new cookbook, as I said, Feeding the Flock, Food for the Brood, and a long-time chronic fatigue syndrome sufferer, but we'll talk about that later. Becky, welcome.
Thank you.
Listen, what inspired you to write your cookbook?
Actually, I had no idea I even wanted to do it, but I subscribed to Taste of Home magazine, and I opened it up, and of course all these flyers fall out, and I never ever look at them. And I happened to pick this one up because I saw some recipes in it, and I'm looking and looking, and a little leaflet only about this big. And on this page it says, publish your own cookbook. And I thought, well, I love to cook, and I have so many good recipes. Some I made up myself, so many good, wonderful recipes, like from 50, 60 years ago from my grandma, 30, 40 years ago from my mom, and from friends and relatives. And I just thought, you know what, it would be a great way to keep all these recipes together because so often they get lost. And so I thought, I can do this. It said, you submit the recipes, we'll do the rest. And so I opened a Type and Save account, typeandsave.com, and a template came up, and I just typed the recipes in, and I electronically submitted them. Got the manuscript back, edited it myself, and that was pretty much that.
Well, you know something, I have to ask you, where did you get your recipe for pumpkin soup? Because the best one I've ever tasted was, excuse me, Jeff.
Listen, now listen
The
to where this
best
is going
one,
to be.
I happen to love pumpkin soup, and I have sampled many, and the best one I ever had was in a place called the Black Forest, and it's in Venezuela, and it's on the way to
We went there
Angel
last week for
Falls.
lunch.
It was,
Yeah.
On your way to, your
We said no
base
last
jumped
week,
off of
yeah.
Angel Falls, I know.
Zambrono and Ian weren't there. We didn't go that day.
So, you know what, I'm going to give Becky's a serious whirl because I just read over the ingredients, and it seemed like it was something like a cross between,
And
you
is
know.
it healthy for us? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, as far as I know it is,
Well,
but I
you
have to
said it
you
is.
know what, let me reserve that until I go over her recipe again
Okay.
with the carbohydrates. Counter's eye. What was that? And you know what I have to ask you, Becky? What's your favorite recipe in the book?
By all means, crab meat casserole. I grew up on it, and it's wonderful comfort food for a winter's night. It
Wow.
is so good.
Any carbohydrates in it?
It's got noodles in it. It's got Velveeta cheese in it. Not exactly health food, but it is good in the winter.
Couldn't we
leave out-
substitute those too? We get rid of those and just have the crab.
we could
meat.
leave the Velveeta, but we
Yeah.
got to take out the noodles.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's got like cream or milk in it too. Maybe you could make a substitution there too.
Listen, who's Twinkie?
Yummy.
Twinkie.
Not a Twinkie.
Oh,
No,
Who is a Twinkie? Not what's a Twinkie.
A lady I work
Who's
with.
a Twinkie?
A lady I work with calls her daughter Twinkie. And so that's where that came from. She submitted a Twinkie's favorite recipe, so I just thought, well, I don't know her name, so I'll just use Twinkie. And then she gave me her other favorite recipe, and
So you know I read through your cookbook
Yeah.
if I picked that out, don't you?
Yeah, so, and her daughter had another favorite recipe, and I thought, well, I'm just going to call that Twinkie's other favorite recipe. I didn't know what else
That's
to call
exactly
it.
what you
I didn't
called
know
it.
what else to call
Twinkie's
it.
favorite and Twinkie's other favorite, but they're very intriguing.
Her mother laughed at that. Yeah, she got a kick out of it.
Listen, can we switch gears here a little bit? And I want to ask you something about when you found out that you had chronic fatigue syndrome. How did it change your life?
Oh, a lot of changes. For one thing, I found out who my friends were and who they weren't. Which was hard, but looking back, here I am 3 years later, it was probably the best thing in the world, and they happened, and I met a lot of good people, and I just kind of started, the negative aspects of my life, I kind of got away from the negative aspects of my life and met new positive people, and I just look at things differently. I don't take anything for granted anymore.
You can't, especially after...
I can't. Well, when you lose, basically, because I was pretty much in bed for 3 months in the very beginning. And it's like, I'll look outside, and I might see like a bird or a squirrel or something like that. Just little things mean more to me now. I enjoy life more because I've lost so much of life, especially back then. Once I started getting better, I didn't miss quite as much. But when I really missed out on life, I just realized you can't take anything for granted. Little things meant more, and I grew up.
What do you think came out of... What do you kind of good do you think came out of you finding out you had this illness?
Well, I'm here, aren't I? I'm here.
That's true.
I can talk to other people, and I'm writing a book on this about my experience, trying to reach people and tell them that this is very real. We're not home because we're lazy or whiners or babies or anything else. And I want to get the word out there. This is a real illness, and we need help. And there's not a lot of funding for it, and we need help.